And we're live, ladies and gentlemen, episode number 763,476.
77.
Those of you, 77, sorry. For those of you that have watched every single one of them, I feel sorry for you. For those of you that have watched 25 or so that we've actually put out here, you guys are in for another treat today. It's been at least, a month and a half since we've been back?
Yeah, buddy.
Get a hooray from the peanut gallery.
Yeah, you guys
are as good as the fucking fans in the soccer game I watched this tonight. So we're back at it again. There's still no sports going on in America. Well, I should say there's no team sports going on in America.
True. I'm watching.
We have NASCAR and golf in the U.S. We have soccer overseas.
In UFC.
And we have a bunch of idiots beat the shit out of each other. So that's great. That's not a good way to fucking
listen, John, let me get this out off the bat. I know you like UFC, right? You like fighting, period.
I don't like UFC. I like boxing.
If I have to spend another Saturday night watching fucking UFC, I'm gonna blow my fucking brain, bro. I can't do it anymore. Why is that the Saturday night sports programming? Like, they could figure out anything else to show me. Please.
Dana White's got a huge deal with ESPN.
Yeah, it's true.
That's only why.
God damn it.
They're having boxing every Tuesday, Thursday, and sometimes on a Saturday night.
But what else are you going to put right now?
I'd rather watch reruns of sports, honestly. Like, I just would.
I'm had enough of those. I can't watch reruns anymore.
You could tell me that all of those fights were reruns, and I would believe you because I don't know. So I
don't know. I never could get into. I never could get into to UFC. It just never did it for me. It almost feels like a street fight. I like the actual technique that's involved in boxing, and I like the fact that if a guy trips over and I can't just jump on top of him, beat the shit out of him, and the fight's over.
Right. Backyard wrestling. Wrestling. I like just jabs, override hooks, like uppercuts. Like there's strategy there. With them, it's like you can just lay on a guy for 5 minutes and still win the fight.
And there's some of those punches thrown, but if one of them connects, the fight's over with most of the time.
Yeah, right.
Well, not only that,
the ground
you connect. He goes on the floor, and then you just hammer his face until the referee knocks you off of him.
Or you try to break his ankle. It's like, Jesus.
It's just brutal, man.
It's like a fight for your life out there.
Yeah, I mean, look, some people love it. I'm not crazy about it. I don't hate it.
The only way I can get into it is if I watch that that reality show that UFC had.
Oh, The Ultimate Fighter?
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that a couple times
to
get into it. Just to get into it. Like, all right, let me see if I can get into this. You kind of like found out who the fighters were and then watched them.
They put the dramatics behind it too. So
it's like the Real Housewives of UFC.
That's exactly what it is. It's the Real Housewives of UFC. It's marrying Mark's favorite programming.
Isn't that great? I couldn't have said it better myself.
I only like New Jersey.
Why? Those New Jersey bitches
because
are crazy.
The only time I've ever watched that show was an episode of New Jersey, and the lady Teresa took a whole table and just flipped it on everybody. And I was like, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Didn't her husband go to jail or something?
He got deported too. I
didn't get that far into it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he got deported, man. Good
he
for
got deported?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
That shit got
real. Lucky guy doesn't have to live in this country anymore. Good for him.
Good for him.
For real.
He just went and got coronavirus faster than we did. That's all.
Yeah, but he probably got saved from it now. The Italians have like a really low rate of infection right now.
Yeah, they're fine now.
Yeah.
It's not fine. It's Novak Djokovic. Hey, here's to Novak.
And Jokic.
Poor guy.
Jokic just got it today.
Did he really?
Nikola? He also lost like 75 pounds in like 4 weeks.
No, he lost like 90 pounds.
So both he's been hanging out with Putin.
So both jokers in sports got the coronavirus?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's on his way over here. He's on his way to Orlando.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, for the training camp. The 2-week training camp.
Okay. Can we just nix this basketball thing for a little bit? Because it's going to have to happen because you're going to have everyone come to the state that's got the most rapid growth of coronavirus right now, and just have them go into like our where all of our tourists are. That's good.
You know how many leagues are being here? Like MLS is having a tournament here. The NBA is going to be in Orlando. The WNBA is in Bradenton. Like almost every league. Baseball.
Aren't they at that school? The private school that has all the good sports programs.
Yeah, IMG.
Aren't they at IMG?
Yeah, I would believe so. That has to be on one.
I think that's where the WNBA is. They got fucking stupid facilities there.
Why wouldn't they send them to like South Dakota?
Go play in like Guam or something.
Hey, Josh, what's the population of South Dakota?
There's more people in California named Dakota than the total amount of people that live in any of the Dakotas.
All right, what's the coolest thing that's in South Dakota?
Mount Rushmore.
Okay, what's the second coolest thing that's in South Dakota?
Phil Jackson's house.
An exit to North Dakota.
Bam, there we go, baby. I was going to say bordering North Dakota, but
yes.
What's below the Dakotas? What state is below the Dakotas?
I believe it's either Iowa or Nebraska.
Iowa, Minnesota.
Is this heaven?
Minnesota's next to it, but Iowa's underneath it.
Minnesota's next to both North and South Dakota, right?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Geography 101, ladies. Did you guys think you would get this on the show tonight? No fucking chance in hell.
Are you smarter than a fifth grader? You're prepared for the show now just by what we gave to you.
No, you're definitely not smarter than a fifth grader. Maybe a third grader, but that's close. Yeah.
I'd fail that.
Those fucking kids are smart, man. Watch out.
Yeah.
Either that or they just learn a bunch of meaningless BS that doesn't ever help them in life. But either way, they seem smart.
Well, they're not getting it from school.
It's like, yo, Johnny, you want to go to class or you want to learn how to sell drugs? I think you should do both today.
Schools teach nothing.
Yeah.
At least teach them how to hustle.
I mean, there's not. I remember when I was in high school in 9th grade, we had a civics class where our teacher taught us how to keep a checking account, how to use credit cards, and all types of shit. How to fill out a check, stuff like that. They don't do that anymore. We had a project. I remember we had a project where we had to rent a house, lease a car. We had to create a budget.
Yeah, with a budget. I remember doing that too.
Don't do that. And they got rid of it in 10th grade.
My daughter doesn't
wonder why everyone's broke.
They don't know how to write a person, bro. Are you kidding me? What?
I actually had in the Academy of Finance, we did fake stock portfolios.
Oh wow.
And there was a 2-week competition and they actually tracked by the New York Stock Exchange. So we were only able to buy, I think, on the New York Stock Exchange.
And Mark came in last place.
Yeah, I think I came in behind last place. Is there such thing?
They sent him to Little Lebowski.
I get disqualified for insider trading in 7th grade.
Mark got sent to the front office to pick up hall passes. They were we don't need you here for this exercise.
SEC is sitting there waiting for him.
You can be my special helper. I need you to go do this.
I was such a great special helper.
I was special, man. I was special.
Yeah, nothing.
Right, so back to some sports, and sometimes we like to talk about sports. On Wednesdays, Fridays, and Mondays. Anyways, what the fuck is going to happen with basketball? Are we really going to get a season in, or are we just kidding?
I don't think so. I think we'll get 5 to 8 games, and then it's going to get canceled.
So basically, the regular season, and then too many people are going to get sick, and they're going to cancel it.
Yeah. No one's going to follow the rules, man. They're going to have this bubble, yet everyone that works at the hotel doesn't have to follow the bubble. So there's going to be people in and out that are going to be outside of whatever fucking bubble that they're trying to create. And the players are going to be like, fuck that, I'm leaving too.
Right.
And there's no way they're going to keep all these people in a bubble.
If they just brought the strippers in, then the guys don't have to leave.
Yeah,
that's before they get rid of 75% of the teams that are there. Then they're allowing all the families come to stay at the hotel rooms that are being vacated.
My dad was
like, your side chick considered a family member? Because that's big.
Are they on their tax form?
Well, is
No.
a 1099 that you pay to them considered, because there you go. There you go.
No? There
Are
are
they-
ways around it.
I'm
Are
going to
they-
pay this bitch, but I'm getting a deduction for it.
Are they a standard deduction or what are they?
No, I mean they're gonna have DJs, swimming pools, games, strippers. They're gonna have everything.
personal exemption.
I was talking to my dad yesterday, and he was like, why didn't we make like a pop-up strip club in Orlando?
But I mean, come on.
No, have you seen these strip clubs like on like YouTube and social media that are popping up in Miami? The outdoor strip clubs.
Yeah,
Well,
well, they did that for the Super Bowl. So
You got like literally you're like 10 feet away from the stage. It's a Boston strip club basically.
they should do that. They should do that in Orlando because Orlando has nothing as far as like nightlife entertainment goes for
If
people.
I knew that was what a Boston strip club was called, I would have went to Boston a long time ago.
Could you
The
imagine?
worst strip clubs of all time. The worst strip clubs ever.
What, just because of their hood rats?
No, because you're
do
literally
anything.
10
It's just
feet
like,
away from them.
Yeah,
You're
it's
not
like-
allowed to be anywhere near them.
you might as well be watching it on television. It's just
I
not.
knew
Like,
there
I
was
went
a
there,
big
I went to a Boston strip club for my friend's bachelor party, and the girl took us to like this big room where like it's a big round room, like looked like the locker room, and they have all these like seats, and you sit there, and then all the girls go in the middle, and they're literally like 5 feet away from you.
And so they call that a lap dance?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I walked up and left.
Mons Venus in Tampa is one of the biggest strip clubs as far as name wise goes in the entire state of Florida, and you don't get anywhere near the girls.
For
I
real?
think
I never
Mons
been to any of the ones in
I think
Tampa.
Mons Venus is the largest strip club in the country in terms of square feet.
No.
Spearmint Rhino is pretty big, man, in Vegas.
It's the opposite. It's tiny as shit.
Tootsie's is big. Tootsie's is a
So
big
then
place. It's like
maybe
BJ's
based on
warehouse.
the amount of strippers per square feet is
Yeah,
that right?
that's more likely. Tootsie's is huge.
Well, Tootsie's
huge.
is fucking Sam's Club. Literally, it's the old
it's
Yeah, it was a
Sam's
BJ. It was a BJ's wholesale.
BJ's,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it. Perfect that it was BJ's. It's a more civic
Yeah,
thing.
sure.
Yeah, of course.
True. I had the old owners. My dad. That was my dad's account. And then they sold it up and we lost it.
Huh.
Mons
It would've been a big account.
Mons Venus doesn't even serve liquor. They only serve beer, and you have to go outside, and there's a liquor store in their parking lot. And so people go out of the club, drink in the parking lot, and come back inside. It's insanity.
Wow.
So they couldn't get a liquor license because they're too big of
No,
a
I
fuck up?
don't know why they do that, but the line is like around the corner all the time. It's such a wildly
That's crazy.
crooked place. It's just
I've
weird.
never
how
been,
clubs are
I've never been
shitty.
to like that area of Tampa where like all the
It's
clubs
right by
are.
the stadium. It's right by the stadium. So
I don't
Yeah.
think we realize how good we have it in terms of strip clubs right in
No.
our
Oh, Miami? Sure.
different.
I think the
world.
only thing that comes close to Atlanta.
Yeah.
I thought Tampa did. I thought Tampa was close, but now I'm
Tampa
hearing
has
that.
a lot. Tampa has a lot, but they're all like that. They're all just like
That makes no sense to me.
peekaboo. You know what I mean? They're like, hey, stay back, and it doesn't. Whatever. But yeah, Orlando needs to get Orlando needs somebody to come in and like create a nightclub that only the basketball players can go to.
Yeah, there is inside the hotels or like having
Like something like that, dude.
fine
Somebody
eating.
promoting. I was like, that's a genius idea because these guys, if they do make it through any of this, are going to be bored out of their fucking mind.
Oh my
Oh yeah.
Like the NBA thinks they just want to play basketball and that's all they want to do. Like, come on, man.
I mean, think about it like this, right? Think about it like this. The fucking most intense basketball player of all time, if you look at it like that, was Michael Jordan. And after the game was over, he's going to the fucking club to gamble or the casino to gamble. He's fucking going
He
out.
wasn't a nightlife guy. He was a gambler. He definitely wasn't a nightlife guy though.
No, but he
I
was
never
out
see-
all hours of the
Love.
night doing stuff.
Oh yeah, but like gambling, playing cards.
Yeah, he's around the action.
So
Yeah.
if there's no action there, it's going to be a problem.
Oh, there's gonna be action. They're gonna play cards. Like I think that they said they're gonna have an unlimited decks of cards, and that after each card is used, they're throwing it away and using a new one. Like I saw a list of things that they're gonna have in their players'
Wow.
lounge.
They have dealers there, like actual casino type thing.
No, they're gonna have to they're not gonna play blackjack or anything like that. They're just gonna be playing like poker or Follow the Queen or
And how are you gonna exchange money? Are you just gonna hand them money?
Yeah, you have money.
Well, I know that.
Venmo.
But if you
I
don't
just
want,
found out about this. There's a thing called Venmo.
if you don't want people touching stuff, you can't hand them dirty money either.
Burger King's taking my money.
Look, between players, if it's not going to matter if they're playing cards after the games. If one of them is sick, they're going to get everybody sick from the games anyway.
From the game, yeah.
So it's really,
that's what I'm saying. This is not going to last.
It's more of the outside influences.
I feel like we're gonna end up. Somebody's gonna get sick, and like I think that might make it to the playoffs, and somebody predominant is gonna get sick, and it's gonna fuck a team over, and people are gonna not want to. It's like
You mean perennial?
Yeah, perennial player, like a guy who's allowed to play in the NBA every year.
Forget about you.
You know, you can't be predominant.
But Trevor Ariza is already out. Trevor Ariza is already like, I'm not playing.
Well, so
like players. I think that's
because he has visitation rights with his kid for the last month.
Yeah,
it's a month straight.
Last month
over into the season. So, and Bertans isn't playing because Bertans is supposed to get like 15, 20 million next year, and he's coming off a couple ACL injuries, so he's not going to play.
Not fucking with my money for no reason.
No, you get guaranteed.
What about Durant and Kyrie?
They're not playing. They've already announced they're not playing.
Yeah, that whole thing. I talked about this with Josh before, and like I don't like how Kevin Durant came to Kyrie's rescue without really like analyzing what Kyrie was saying. You know, against Kendrick Perkins, it was a weird spot.
He just called Perkins a sellout. Like,
yeah,
dude. Everyone's allowed their opinion. Like Perkins is allowed his, but you just don't call him a sellout for that.
Yeah, I know.
The problem is Kyrie kind of like changes his opinion like overnight, and if he felt so strongly about something, he should have said that when he was in the goddamn Players Association meeting, since he's one of the top guys.
What did I say to you, Josh? I'm like 2 years ago when stuff was happening. He didn't say shit about any of the fucking.
He's the vice president.
And then it's just now he can't play basketball, so he's gonna say shit.
That guy did. He asked. I remember him. Him actually was him. It wasn't like a source of his, or it wasn't like a friend of his. He himself asked the NBA, "Are inactive players allowed to go and sit on the bench?" And when he was told no, that's when all this shit started coming out about.
Right. No, I can't.
None of us
can't play. None of you should play. I can't go. None of you should.
COVID, I understand, but the platform the NBA has, like, you can't just let that go.
Yeah. No, that's crazy. A flat earth motherfucker.
And Kyrie is just a bad messenger. Like that, this dude. Like, I understand. Bomani Jones said this on ESPN. Was like, anyone else comes out and says what he said, you take it seriously. Well, when Kyrie comes out and says it, you got to question. Well, what the hell is he talking about?
Flat earth.
Flat earth. Again?
Flat
like,
earth.
What's that? Yeah.
That crazy shit.
Give the guy a break.
And then Harris comes to the defense, and it's like, well, I mean, is there any other messengers that want to come to your defense?
That guy's a crazy person. He's got nasty handles, though, bro. He's so good.
He's the sickest handles in the NBA.
The nastiest handles in the NBA.
What?
Kyrie Irving has the nastiest handles in the NBA.
He may have some of the nastiest handles of all time.
He's like he's like a hot girl from high school that would actually sleep with all the guys. Like you don't want to be caught being around, but you're in awe of them from a distance, but you don't want to be caught around them and like associating.
He's got at least 3 STDs. Stay the fuck away.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
your shit is going to itch for weeks.
It's gonna fall off.
Hey man, your lips got some shit on his lip.
Why you know I can't get jiggy with this shit.
I got myself shaving.
I got myself shaving.
Dude, your lip got some shit on his lip.
Oh
my God.
Got some shit on his lip.
That shit is so funny.
Oh man.
Gotta love it.
All right, so
everybody thinks no basketball. It's not going to make it to the finals. Is that what you think?
Every sports has to make it.
I don't know, man. This shit is kind of. I've been saying for months. You know, we're talking about how this thing is not spreading, this, that, and the other. And I'm like, yo, we have all these cases, and people are actually practicing social distancing. Like, people are actually staying away from each other.
Where is this happening?
No, I'm talking about months ago.
Oh,
So now that we've kind of laxed and got kind of out of that social distancing, think about it. This thing didn't go away.
no.
Yeah.
So it's if we lax
We have no
our
vaccine. Until we have a vaccine, this shit ain't going away.
right. Well, there's something called herd immunity that they've talked about before, where basically like 60 to 70% of the population will contract the virus, and in theory have the antibodies for it.
And it starts to beat up the virus, and it just
And so in that case, then yeah, you're still going to pass it along, but so many people have had it, it doesn't make sense to keep everybody home. And it's too hard to like track. I mean, what are you gonna do? Put like freaking wristbands on people that have fucking had the disease and they're allowed to go outside? Like it's
oh, you got a purple one on. Get the fuck away from me.
The VIP, you can't VIP. You don't have a orange bracelet, motherfucker. You need a yellow bracelet, man.
You're like, I just need milk from the store, bro. What the fuck? Nah.
They're gonna give these rings to the NBA players that like tells them whether they're okay or not.
Yeah.
Why don't we all
don't give one to James Harden. He ain't earned it yet.
Harden's like, I finally got a ring.
To win a championship.
Oh,
everybody rusty as shit, and then Houston just goes on a run of hitting 3-pointers for like a month.
Yo, I tell you what, but it's gonna have to be because Russell Westbrook goes ape shit.
Yeah,
I mean that's the only way. Yeah.
Look, if Russell Westbrook plays like 38, 10, and 10 type of Russell Westbrook, anything's possible.
The two of them can go off for like, and then all of a sudden everyone's just hitting threes, and everyone else is rusty because no one's been playing basketball.
That's true.
This is 99 playoffs, where it's like an 8 seed Knicks can beat the Heat and as a 1 seed because it's just such a short season that people aren't.
Yeah, but see, that was different. That was different in that the Knicks would have never been the 8 seed if it was a full season.
Yeah. No, yeah.
You had 30.
We were just getting on stride going into the playoffs.
Right, because you had everybody hurt in the beginning of the year. And
you didn't even start the whole year.
Like 4 games out of like the 4 seed that year too. So with 50 games, I mean, you shouldn't have been the 8 seed. If that was a full season, you were 2 or 3 seed.
Yeah.
So speaking of short seasons, what do you guys make of baseball?
Nobody can make anything of baseball, even the baseball players.
Fuck the players and fuck the owners. I think that both of them are fucking assholes for making it last this long.
But I mean, so they have this 60-game thing on the table, right? So
yeah, it's signed and sealed. They're starting July 1st training camp.
So
the Players Association hasn't agreed to it yet.
Tonight they agreed to it.
Oh, just recently?
Yeah, within the last hour and a half, 2 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
past the deadline where they agreed to it.
So what are we gonna do? Like, is it gonna be like our pitcher's gonna pitch on 3 days rest because it's only 60 games? You're just gonna mow through this thing, or what?
Mark Teixeira was talking about this. There's going to be no time for these guys to get into any type of shape. There's going to be so many injuries, like because you get 66 games in 60 days. There's no way that top guys are going to start get away from injuries. Like there's going to be a lot of injuries.
Doubleheader every Sunday.
I mean, it's crazy. They're going to be playing every day. Every day there's going to be like 80% of the league playing each other.
Well, no. If you have 60, you said 66 games or 60 games.
66 games in 60 days. No, 60 games in 66 days.
Oh, in 66 days. Okay,
yeah,
fine.
They're gonna have a day off per week for 6 weeks or something, or whatever, and then play whatever.
So it's basically a 10-week season and then no expanded playoffs. So the season ends sometime in October.
Yeah.
Yep. They want it to end on schedule, like as if the season happened.
All right. So if you take this year, you combine it with the 94 year, you have 1 full year.
So you're gonna have one of these weird.
Right?
I like it.
First place.
Can we bring those guys back?
Yes.
Toronto's like, please let us do that.
Oh my god.
Joe Porter's like, I want number 3.
Toronto's like, we were going back to back, motherfucker. You cut our season off.
The White Sox are the number 1
Deion Sanders 30. I just watched that when he was playing for the Braves and the Falcons.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah. Dude, that man. Wow.
Still, when people talk about greatest athlete, if you don't talk about that guy, you're crazy because
I mean,
he's the only guy that was an all-star in 2 major sports.
it was unbelievable what he was doing.
Not been all-stars in it.
Well, Bo Jackson was good enough to be an
But
all-star.
But it was at the same time. Like, they were both playing at the same time. And it was weird the way they were scheduling it. They were scheduling it where Dion was playing baseball until like football started.
Yeah.
And then Bo was playing baseball until baseball season ended. Then he went into the football.
Then he went into football. So he took baseball more serious.
Yeah.
Well, but
and then Dion had a weird contract with the Braves where he wasn't getting paid anything to play in the playoffs.
And it's weird that the Braves had 2 guys like that because Brian Jordan did the same thing.
That's right.
Yeah, with Dion, to me, it was a no-brainer. It's like, yo, you're the best cornerback in the world.
That 30 for 30 just reminded me of how excellent that guy was and his greatness.
Oh yeah,
I think Dion and Brady are the only 2 guys in NFL history that you can definitively say I think are the best at their position, hands down.
And Jordan.
No, in football.
No, in football.
I mean, come on, Dion Jordan's good, but he's not that good.
Yeah, Dion Jordan was pretty good.
I was talking about Brian Jordan.
Ay.
The guy from the Eagles?
Yeah, I know he's about. Good job.
Think about it. I hate the fucking Eagles.
Speaking of Eagles, are we just going to gloss over the fact that Dallas Goedert got knocked the fuck out?
Oh my God, that was amazing.
I saw that on the bottom line. Someone just like clocked him out of nowhere.
That was the other cool thing that happened in South Dakota, Mark.
Yo, South Dakota is amazing. Yo, we should do our next podcast from South Dakota.
We're not going to be welcome in South Dakota after this.
Oh my God, that state is getting so much promotion.
It's the great state of South Dakota, man.
Amazing how positive we are about South Dakota, but Canada gets no respect.
Yo, Canada. Well, it depends what part of Canada you're talking about.
I would love to live in Toronto.
Canada is big as fuck, man.
I don't want to go to the French part. I'm good on Montreal and Quebec. They can kiss my
French will fuck you up, man.
I've heard Vancouver is amazing, though.
I want to go to Vancouver. Fuck everybody else.
Yeah,
That's like going to Seattle, man. It's the same thing. It's like,
yeah, but it's not America.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, like, if you're looking for a comparable
Weed
thing,
is really, really legal.
you know how they say, like, Toronto is the same as New York? Like,
It's cleaner.
Yeah.
You know who lives in Toronto? Who moved there? Raekwon.
Justin Bieber.
And the Toronto Maple Leafs.
You were looking for street cred. I got you.
No,
Raekwon.
he was born there. He was born in New York, but he lives in.
I'm kidding,
Toronto.
bro.
Come on, I.
Diversify your bonds.
I've been to Toronto once. That shit was awesome.
Wu-Tang. Wu-Tang. We don't listen to that Chinese shit. We do this right here.
That's fucking amazing.
What they did is true. The Wu-Tang and the Shaolin could be dangerous.
All right, so baseball's fucked too. Is that what we're saying? I mean, does baseball get through the year, or we just guess it?
Baseball has more of a chance to get through the year because
You have so many players on the roster that don't play. So I mean, it's like you basketball. If like 1 or 2 guys in your locker room get sick, like your team is down 10%. You know, like you.
LeBron gets sick, the Lakers have 0 chance.
Yeah,
I was having this conversation with a good friend of mine, and he said, "Look, what's probably
all of your good wait. All of your good friends are here. So who were you talking to about this?
I was talking to myself, actually.
Right, cool.
I didn't want to say that on the podcast.
Yeah.
You know what, Derek? I literally was talking in a fucking bathroom, and the bathroom told me.
You know what, Mark?
You were talking to
Anthony Davis is going to get fucking sick, or LeBron James, or Paul George in the Western Conference Finals, and then how do you fucking go on with the series?
I said
the Clippers file for what's the term? That baseball
a continuation or something.
A protest.
They file
for a protest.
Yo, it's not right. Corona took our season down. No, they can't.
I don't know what you do if a top player gets hurt in the middle of the season.
You got to deal with it. That's kind of like an injury. But if like
Michael Jordan was injured, Michael Jordan was sick, and he put up one of the best games he's ever had in his life. They're telling LeBron he can't play. Go home.
Yeah, but he has stomach virus. He has stomach virus.
Mike had the poopies.
Yeah,
I mean,
we're talking about like some of this shit with this fucking coronavirus is crazy.
Well, yeah, I mean, but LeBron's not gonna die from the coronavirus. But at the end of the day, like if LeBron got the coronavirus, like the league would.
You just gotta outlast it.
They're gonna close the league if that happens.
Yeah.
Like,
top 5 player gets the coronavirus, it's over. I don't care how far.
All the other players will be like, "I'm not playing anymore." If he has it,
all of them equipped.
Right? Yeah, no,
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't either. No fucking way.
And like LeBron gets coronavirus, and we're like 3 of the Western Conference Finals. We're fucking bowing out that shit and figuring this out later.
And then what does the East do? Because they're just like
picking it up later. This shit's done.
No, it's over with, dude. If they play this whole thing out, like there's gonna be no time between the end of this season and the beginning of next season.
Like 2 months, I think.
Less than that. I think it was like 6 weeks.
Josh, fix your fucking shitty ass computer.
What do you mean?
You've been
wrong?
delayed for like the last 15 minutes. Wait till you watch this podcast.
That ain't me, man.
You got that Wu-Tang speech, boy.
Wu-Tang.
You don't want to fight me.
I see. That's what I'm saying. Now he's just fucking.
You think you can beat me?
Do the Jim Carrey.
That's not Jim Carrey. That's old country.
That's it. There it is. Oh Lord!
Jim Carrey.
What is this world coming to?
Hey, did you guys just hear the breaking news?
What breaking news?
Baseball's not coming back anymore.
Oh my God! Why are you dropping outside the door? I love it.
The female Jeff Passan.
The female Jeff Passan
person on the podcast.
Breaking news.
That guy's
This
such
is
an
an all-time. That just made this an all-time episode.
See, everyone's say hi to Jenna. Jenna, you're on.
That is unbelievable.
I
We were
heard
just talking about
the
it.
alert
We were just talking.
that baseball is coming back.
Yeah, we're talking about how it's going to come back and then it's going to be dead before it even starts.
We all
Conversation.
sleep at night, so let's bring baseball back, please.
Is it for real over? Was she serious?
Josh is checking Twitter. He's like,
Hey, you know
Is
they
this
took
really
global out of the dictionary.
if your wife just broke that baseball is over with,
That's amazing.
and it's real.
It's been finalized forever. It's done. Go home.
If she would have said something like baseball's over ever since the juiced ball got taken out of the game, I would have been like, all right, Mark, you're off the podcast. Jenna, get in the chair.
I mean, let's be honest here. Everybody in baseball be allowed to take steroids?
Oh my God, that's what they should do for the 60 games is just let them all.
Steroids are back in for 2 years.
I mean, first off, the steroids is for sure going to fight off the coronavirus. So that's a plus there. All right. I mean,
You know who
say what you want, but in my mind, coronavirus ain't got shit on Mark McGwire or Sammy Sosa.
Finally,
Say about that.
you know what's going to happen is some weird anomaly like the Tigers will go 14-2 in their first 16 games and they'll make the playoffs or something.
They'll get beat by 48 runs in a 3-game series, and then I'll be the end of that.
If they played the same type of season last year, the Nationals would not have made the playoffs.
Yeah, well, they went back and did it for like 3 years. Who did it? The guy who's on the Fox Sports shows, who's a fucking pain in the ass, but I kind of like him. Nick.
Colin Cowherd?
No, what's his name? Nick.
Nick Bonacani.
I think Josh knows his name, but we can't fucking hear him because he has a shitty ass computer. There he goes again. He's muted.
That's all right, guys. We just randomly, from time to time, if this is your first time watching, we like to tell Josh to shut up metaphorically by turning his microphone off.
I'm back. Shut the fuck up. I could hear you from the bullpen.
Which is
good. I'm sure you.
That part of Josh's timeout is that he can hear us also, so it's really like painful for him to listen and not be able to respond.
So let me ask you a question. You got a 60-game season. Do you fucking go with a 3 or 4 man rotation?
That's what I said at the beginning. Do your pitchers pitch every 3 days? What do you do?
Fuck it. Who cares?
Yeah, I mean, what's going to happen? They're going to have what? They're going to have.
Not until the playoffs
They're
start.
gonna have to actually act like men and not little bitches.
If you pitch every 3 days, you're going to pitch what? 20 games?
I mean, maybe you do every 4 games, so maybe you have a 4-man rotation.
Yeah, so you pitch 15 games over 60 games.
And then you have, you take that 5th guy and you throw him in the bullpen and he's a long reliever.
There's going to be a lot more. There's going to be a lot more.
We just signed Garrett Cole. We're not going to kill him.
That's going to kill baseball. It's already dying until the pitching changes, because pitchers stop pitching after 5 innings. They're going to kill that this year, even worse.
Baseball has gained 0 fans because of this nonsense.
Yeah, they've lost a gang of fans, actually. I mean,
no, the diehards are still there, but I'm pissed. I'm pissed that they did this because, I mean, just to be the first sport to come back would have been such a big boost for them.
So are you
Are
you upset because you wanted more people to like baseball by them having an opportunity?
No, I thought that they were. It was a stupid fight to have.
It's stubborn
because they are acting like this is the last season of baseball, and then they have to get all this shit done now. It's a 60-game season. Calm the fuck down and just play ball.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. When has baseball ever been at the forefront of doing anything productive?
They're the last to the table league, man. Always. Well, they did the Jackie Robinson thing, which was the right thing to do. They did the Mother's Day pink and the Father's Day blue thing. Like they did some things that I think were.
Well, I mean, that should work.
Yeah. It's a gimmick for 100.
It's been behind basketball, football for probably since the 80s. Probably started in the 80s.
No, the 90s, the late 90s baseball. The last time baseball was at a good peak was the late 90s.
Span. They started losing ground to basketball and football in the 80s.
Oh yeah,
and
I'm not saying they were above. I'm saying the highest peak they've been in the last 20 years was the late 90s.
Yes, and that was because of 2 guys that took steroids that they blackballed out of the entire league.
Well,
3.
They had the Braves going to the playoffs every year. They had the Yankees winning 4 World Series. They had the 2 guys slugging for home runs. Like, they had a lot of shit going on.
These things matter if McGuire and Sosa don't do what they did in '98 and Bonds doesn't come out and do what he did in early 2000.
Yeah, baseball would have been dead for a while if those guys didn't show up.
Yeah. It gave people something to watch every single night.
Well, it gave casual fans a reason to watch. It gave non-diehards like, hey, something's going on. Let's watch.
You had a good season with like Hideo Nomo. He brought a lot of notoriety from the far
Fernando
game. Like when you get a guy like that, that's even when
it's an American sport, so like they're looking for Americans to like do something.
Even Yasiel Puig was a big injection into the game when he came into the game for a little bit.
Yeah.
But the sport needs that every year, and they don't get it. That's the problem. They don't get young talent coming.
You see the difference, like when the Marlins. I know it's a bad example, but you go into a Marlins game, or just I say this as like a Marlins Cubs game when a lot of Chicago people live here and they're going to go to the game. That place is pretty packed. But when the World Baseball Classic was here, and it was like the Dominican Republic versus Venezuela, like it was standing room only.
Yeah. It was the only time they've ever like actually like sold out and everybody showed up.
Oh, like the place, it was like a Super Bowl was happening.
It
was
watching it on TV and I'm like, this is crazy.
They're the biggest disgrace in sports for the way that they've handled the fan base that's put right at their feet. You have it's virtually Latin America in the county that they're in, and they can't do anything with it. They do nothing with it.
I give it to them. They tried when they signed Jose Reyes.
No,
but then they got rid of him halfway through the season
because they brought Ozzie Guillen in, and he's so fucking political. You can't have that guy being your manager. That was a bad hire.
No, I think what they need to do is I think they need to do more marketing in game that attracts more of the population in South Florida. Forget about actually going out and getting Hispanic players, because that sometimes works, that sometimes doesn't. They move on, they don't. Like at the end of the day, I think they need to do marketing in regards to getting those fans
coming. Clevelander?
Yeah, Clevelander helps. The fucking Budweiser thing helps, but like do more marketing type things that
you need a player.
What?
You need a player. You need a player like Jose. If Jose Fernandez was still alive, he would attract crowds whenever he pitched. That place was sold out.
Yeah.
Like you need a player that'll galvanize the fan base
to win.
To watch.
They had an outfield for the future, and they traded it away to be naive.
They couldn't afford it.
No,
they afforded it. Why couldn't they afford it? Their owner could afford it, so don't say they can't afford it.
He didn't want to pay that money. That's why he tried to get rid of him.
There's a difference between not being able to afford it and not wanting to pay the money.
The Marlins had a chance to be relevant again with that outfield, and they traded them all away.
Yeah, they had Christian Yelich, Giancarlo Stanton,
and Ozuna,
who are two of, you could argue, the best players in the league when healthy. And then you had Marcell Ozuna.
Yeah, no one, you saw that happening with Yelich? You saw him making that turn? I didn't see it.
No, but Stanton was a no-brainer.
Well, Stanton was Stanton. I mean, that was $300 million.
And then Ozuna put up those numbers in Florida before you got rid of him.
He hasn't since. He's been kind of a bust since.
He was good with the Cardinals. He doesn't hit for average, but he hits for
They put him in a 4-5 hitter.
You know where he's going to play this year, boy. You better watch out. That boy's out there and drop some bombs.
Oh, no.
Baseball's canceled. No, Baseball's canceled.
Because nobody's playing.
He's our new Josh Donaldson, bro. You better watch out.
Yeah. He's going to be a replacement player soon.
He's going to be Shane Falco.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen, man. All replacement players. Fuck it.
Scabs.
They're going to call Mark up and be like, yo, you want to play third base in the major leagues with the Marlins?
Yeah, can I get drunk during the games?
And he's like, nah, I'm going to keep my job.
More security with what I'm doing.
He's like, I'm good. You guys.
The real team, not the replacements, man.
You guys want to buy some braces? A lot of injuries in a 60-game season, bro, in 66 days.
I'll tell you what, Mark would be half player, half fucking the medical consultant.
And I'll do that.
Mark would get kicked off the team for eating all the sunflower seeds before the game started.
These are free?
Yeah. Yo, I hate the sunflower seeds because I have to do one by one to get the shell out. Isn't that
do you really?
The thing ever.
Dude, you see what they put like 30 in their mouth and just like eat 4 of them.
I do the same.
I'm not that talented.
I do the same thing. I put about 15 in my mouth and I move them over one at a time and open them with the other side of my mouth and spit the shell out and eat it.
I'd like to hang out with.
Yeah, I can do the cherry stem too. So tell your ladies, watch out.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Hey.
Caitlin.
Wow.
Party starter over here.
Pixar didn't happen.
You want to see me do party tricks with my tongue, Josh? Hey.
Someone find a cherry stem, please.
Nope. So, yeah. What else? What else does anybody want?
Golf, your favorite sport, Joshua Krantz.
Yeah, I've been watching golf.
What do you think about your boy Webb Simpson winning this week?
Webb Simpson's a baller, man.
golf tournament was sold out all weekend. Place was fucking packed with volunteers.
With volunteers. Mad volunteers. Golf's one of those sports where you don't need spectators there because it's enjoyed mostly by people on television anyway.
But it is weird though because it's like they make a putt, and unless the
Nobody says anything, yeah, you don't hear a roar. They're just like,
you
you hear them, they shot Brad, and you're like, yeah.
So Justin Thomas is out there like, yeah, waving to the fucking fake crowd. And
Yeah,
High five.
that shit's funny. That's what you should do. Tip your cap to the crowd that's not there. Some showmanship, bro. What else are you supposed to do with your
I
time?
appreciate you guys, all of you. I appreciate you all.
Thank you all for coming. I know you sacrificed a lot to get out here. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
your health and well-being, we appreciate it.
No, it's golf will pick back up later in the year when the majors start to come up, and we'll see what they do with all that.
Question: is it going to be weird? And I ask this to you, Derek. Is it going to be weird watching the Masters
In November,
Tiger's out there and hits a huge putt, and there's literally nobody there making any noise whatsoever?
yeah, no, it's so weird. It's like I'm gonna watch the Masters, and then like the next week I'm gonna have Thanksgiving. It's like that
That's the weirdest thing.
feels really weird to me.
The U.S. Open, the Olympics, no, not the Olympics, the U.S. Open,
The World Cup,
and the Masters are all within like a month stretch of each other, a month and a half stretch of each other.
yeah, it's pretty crazy.
If all these sports take place in September, you're going to have all four major sports going on at the same time.
I know.
And have golf majors
And college.
tennis majors.
You're gonna have golf and tennis majors happening too at the same time,
Golf, tennis, college football, NFL, basketball, baseball,
and
Yeah.
hockey.
soccer,
And
hockey.
Yep.
Everything's going to go on at the same time.
Yeah. It'll be a
That's
great
crazy.
sports fan. Except not a spectator in-house. That'll not be good.
Which is fine.
Mine.
If you weren't going to any of the games, right, you don't feel any differently about what you're watching because you
No.
still watch the sport happen.
I'm going to need like 9 TVs in my living room.
Like I watched sports today. We watched soccer.
Yeah.
I didn't feel any different about what was happening on the field because there were nobody in the crowd. I didn't care.
Well,
Yeah.
we're not looking at the crowd of spectators, and like I'm not watching basketball game and like, oh man, this crowd. Like I'm just watching the game.
Yeah, but it makes a big deal, right? The momentum of the game in basketball gets changed
Oh no,
drastically.
it helps the players. Yeah, but I've watched Orlando Summer League where no one's allowed in the building,
Yeah.
so I've seen it before.
But you
Yeah.
can't tell me that you feed off that energy yourself when you're watching a game and you hear the fans going crazy and it's your team that you like.
A lot of times I'm watching the game on mute and playing PlayStation.
That doesn't happen to Josh. He's a Knicks fan. He's a Knicks fan. No.
Assuming you rooted for a team that actually had fans that showed up and celebrated for their own team.
Or if your fans were allowed to come into the stadium when they have tickets, like that.
Or if you're
They are allowed in the stadium. They're just carried out by security.
Yeah, they're not allowed to come in certain exits because they're not handicapped.
They're not allowed to look at the owner in a wrong way.
or if your fans who are legends weren't thrown out of the stadium for the fuck of
What I'm
it.
fucking talking about. Shut up.
God damn it. I can't hear you because you're fucking delayed 78 seconds.
You will not defeat me.
My Shaolin style will defeat you.
I will defeat your Wu-Tang sword. I would like to see your Wu-Tang sword.
Josh just asked to see your sword.
You think your Wu-Tang sword can defeat me?
I've had some weird shit over the years, but hey, fuck it, right?
I've been so Wu-Tanged out, man. I've watched all the documentaries, the fucking show that was on Hulu. I've been watching so much Wu-Tang. Did you know that Raekwon tried to murder Ghostface's entire family and their best friends?
Why?
Because they were like opposite ends of Staten Island, and they were
They
like
should have been talking shit.
private. I mean, no, like the seriously, the beginning of the show that was on Hulu is Raekwon going to Ghostface's house and shooting out his windows where his family's in there.
And where was
At
Ghostface?
the beginning of the show,
Where was Ghostface?
Ghostface was in the house, like protecting his family.
And he and Raekwon weren't friends at that point?
They were enemies, like literally trying to kill each other.
That's
And then-
great. News right there.
And then all of a sudden, like within like a couple years, they're like best friends that make the greatest album of all time, maybe.
I mean, yeah, sure. Wu Tang.
The purple tape, man.
That's pretty good.
Pootie Tang.
Pootie Tang.
Sarate.
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 That guy was unbelievable.
Pootie Tang was man. Chris Rock is a fucking genius.
The kids will never know about Pootie Tang.
Yo, you know who should come? Yo, a comedian should be coming out with shit these days. Like, come on, man, give us something to laugh about.
Chappelle came out with something. It was fucking heavy, but it was something.
Yeah, I mean, I think
like political, and it was not.
Nothing's not going to be political right now. Anything that comes out is going to be political.
Chappelle too serious. Chappelle is he's an edgy and
he said some funny shit though. I mean, he was very serious, but he said some funny shit.
But that's okay because he's allowed to do that. Like at the end of the day, he's a black man in America who's made it to the height of show stardom.
Oh my God,
like he can say whatever he wants, and it should just be taken as he's up there being a fucking comedian. He's controlling.
He's been saying it, man. Like some of the skits on the Chappelle show were exactly what he was talking about today and what's happening.
Right,
like, shit's going on.
Well, he wrote it with Neil Brennan, so it's like a white guy.
Neil Brennan has been. I've been a lot of IG lives. I've been fucking heavy in IG lives, and Neil Brennan has been doing a lot, and he has his own podcast now. Feel Neil, I think it's called. He's been fucking on fire.
I watched him because he's on with Theo Vaughn, and that's the podcast I watch, and so. He was on, and he started asking him about the relationship with Chappelle because it went through like a rough patch where they didn't talk to each other after Chappelle's show.
Oh, and Chappelle left and didn't tell me about it.
He just looked at the camera and he's like, he went to Africa. What am I like? What am I?
What am I supposed to do?
And he stopped returning my calls and went to Africa. Yeah. Like, okay, that's a very. He said,
Neil Neil came out with the 3 mics, which is hilarious. That's one of the best stand-ups I've seen.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, comedian.
But, Gary Owen, he's been He's been throwing some funny shit out there.
People should, comedian. We need more laughter, man.
We have to get some laughter in here, man.
Right now, get some comedy.
People are about to kill each other. People are literally about to kill each other.
But our comedy shows, let's talk about it in comparison to sports. Are comedy shows watchable when there's no audience?
Yeah, I mean, Key and Peele had no audience.
No, they had a live audience. They did sketches, but
some laughter.
Like Chappelle's special was what, 2 people?
It was weird because there was literally 30 people there.
Yeah, and he had them spread out on like a farm,
and he was even saying it. He was like, "It's just so weird not getting reaction from the crowd."
Right. So if you're watching it on TV, like I hate to say it, but our brain works the way that like you hear a group of laughter and it makes things a little bit more funny to you, right?
Yeah.
Just socially, that's how.
Did I miss it? Like did I miss the joke? Like you hear a lot of people laughing. Yeah.
Right. So, and if you don't have that, is it as effective, or we're just like, oh, this guy's fucking stupid now that there's nobody laughing? I don't know.
I think it's all like, because if I find it funny, I'm gonna laugh. I'm not a lot of times where I'm like, if I don't find it funny, but like a lot of people are laughing around me, I'm like, oh shit, why didn't I find that funny? It's just I didn't find it funny. Like, I don't know. I go to a lot of comedy shows. I went. Uncle Funny's was open. I went there almost like every week. The Improv at Hard Rock, I've gone there a lot of times. I never really pay attention to the crowd. I'm just always concentrating on the comic.
But you're not up there on the stand though, too.
Yeah,
those comics feed off of those crowds.
Right.
That's
energy would be really weird. You'd have to just have specials for the people that are massively famous that don't need the laugh because they know they're fucking funny.
Well, that's what I'm kind of looking for.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you don't want like a no-name guy up there, but people that like, Chappelle, Seinfeld, they could do stuff and you would just be like, all right.
Cruz is funny, but I don't need to see him on a fucking ABC special, like nice guy and all.
He's a swell fellow, this guy.
I would want a lot of I'm watching a lot of these comedy specials on Netflix though. The Adam Sandler one. He just did one of the 100% Fresh where he just went his last tour that he went on with but it was a lot of songs. There was a lot of like funny songs that he was playing on his guitar.
Put on your yarmulke.
So he didn't do any of his old stuff. He didn't do that or red sweater. Red sweatshirt. He didn't do any of his old stuff.
What was he singing?
He was doing all new stuff. Everything was brand new.
Jesus Christ, man!
It was hilarious. He was doing. He was
It's
doing
probably
great.
funny. It's probably funny.
Talented guy.
Yeah, he's crazy talented.
He doesn't get enough
I just
credit.
watched Uncut Gems. Holy shit!
What'd you watch?
Uncut Gems.
Oh, I heard it was really good.
Wow.
Everybody I talked to said it was amazing.
Yeah,
Wow.
I thought it was like okay. I didn't.
It's definitely one of those movies you watch once because of the ending.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if I watch it again, I don't know if I'm gonna have the same like effect.
It won't. It wouldn't wear on. I watched it by myself, and then I caught it on Netflix again, just scrolling, and I was like, I'm gonna watch it again, and I started putting it on, and I turned it off after like 25 minutes.
You get so pissed off with him. You're like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah,
Like, give up.
yeah. It's a very odd character for him to play.
Yeah, but that's the Safdie brothers, man. They're like the opposite of the Coen brothers in directing.
Right.
They're very serious.
So.
Oh,
Speaking
Lord.
of the Coen brothers, how you doing, Lil Lebowski?
I'm doing well, baby. I'm doing well. Got my little Lebowski in the other room, hopefully still sleeping. Both
Lil
of them.
Lebowski, urban achiever.
How does it reach the other room, Mark? Jesus, it's not that little.
Hey, you know.
Oh, you're a kid. Oh, all right, gotcha. I see.
So we got anything else to talk about, or we gonna hit the Dave Chappelle wrap it up button?
Yeah,
Wrap it up, babe. Wrap it up.
I think we touched on all the things that aren't happening in sports right now.
It's none of that happens. I watch this boxing. It's just Top Rank is doing these boxing deals on Tuesdays and Thursdays. They're just taking the top stars and putting them against bums just so they can fight.
It's not worth it to me. Just shut it down, baby. You're just find the good fights and fucking.
There's not going to be any good fights until crowds are let in. They're not going to have any big fights without a crowd. There's no way.
Are you guys finding that like you're caring less about sports, or that you're fiending more for it to come back? Like, which one is bigger to you?
I'm caring less.
I'm caring less, but mine's also because I have a lot going on.
But let's just say next week, or not next week. Let's give it some time from right now. Let's say in 6 weeks, everything is starting to pick back up and rolling again. Like
and
there's
I'll
gonna
go back to my normal self.
like you're gonna go back
I'm
to
going to get back into it, yeah.
I'll go back to my normal self.
you're not
I
changing.
was telling the Mark before. You put live basketball on television, I'm going to watch it.
Well, I know you'd watch it, but are you gonna watch it in the same? Are you gonna ingest the same amount, or are you realizing that there's more to your time than just
No,
spending?
because there's nothing else that I haven't seen in the last 2 months. I need something new.
Right.
I've watched almost every TV show I've ever been yelled at for not watching.
Where he doesn't have any kids, he doesn't have a wife, so it's easy for him.
But let's say
I'm with my nephew all the time. Except when he shits his pants, I leave.
what if everything opened too, and so that you thought, okay, well now I can spend my time doing anything I want.
Even if everything opens, I'm gonna wait a month after that.
Are you still gonna come back to sports though as like the lead dog?
Well, sports has to come back. I mean, that's this country's number one fucking thing is sports. Like it takes over the airwaves when it's on. But I just don't know if they're doing it right and if it's gonna happen. Like there's so many questions. Like
I don't know how you do it right with a disease or with a virus.
there's no way. It's like they're trying to just push it, and I understand because people need like something on television, some entertainment, but I don't see it working out. I see there's a lot of things that are going to get in the way with it, and the fact that we don't have a cure is going to stop everything. Because as soon as someone gets sick, then everyone's going to freak out.
I feel like they let the animals out of the cages, right? Because they told us all that we could start to go back out into the world. And so naturally sports is the next thing to follow if they're letting people out in the world.
Yeah, but people are acting like idiots.
Everybody back in the cages, no matter how bad it gets. Like people aren't going to stop going out anymore or going to restaurants or any of that. So they figure, well, we might as well just play the sport.
Yeah. I drive down Las Olas and it's as if nothing happened. There's no disease at all. It's ridiculous.
I picked the kids up today and I drove home at like 5:15, and it took me a regular amount of time to go down the roads. And I was like,
the roads are packed. The roads are
It is taking me less time to go down to Miami. I am getting to Miami a lot quicker.
yeah, I think the long distance travel on the highway has changed.
Yeah.
Like the inner commute where you're like going to Walmart on the other side of town that you were doing that a month ago and you could get there in 10 minutes, and now it's like 20 minutes again.
Oh yeah, the bridges are closing on a normal basis now.
Yeah.
That shit is popping up and causing fucking traffic a lot, like the same amount of time they was doing before.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Now I'm out in my balcony. I'm seeing planes in the sky left and right. So people are flying.
Now the flights are definitely happening. I'm supposed to go. I was supposed to go to a wedding in Birmingham in July, and we're not going to go. Instead, they're gonna show it online.
Yeah, I attended a bat mitzvah on Zoom.
But we were supposed to go to one in Jersey in the latter part of the year, and I think that's still on the fence because of everything. I don't think we're going to do that either. So
I was supposed to go to San Antonio in August for 4 days. There's no chance that's happening.
Consider yourself lucky then.
Pretty much, yeah.
You can only spend one day at the Riverwalk and one day at the Alamo, and then what are you going to do the other 2 days?
2 days where it's 978 degrees and the humidity is fucking.
Yeah. That's the only time I'll have to be outside. I'm gonna
the next time I get on a plane, I'm flying to Scotland.
Yes.
Hey, the beginning, the first year of the 5-year trip that Mark was planning was supposed to start this summer.
Can you imagine if we did that?
Yeah, we'd be stuck in fucking Italy.
We'd be stuck in Europe right now.
Down there.
I know. No, we wouldn't have gone.
There's no way we would.
We would have actually built up 2 years of fucking anticipation, and then in the last minute they would have been like, "Go fuck yourself! You're not allowed to come here." This is what would have happened, and I would have killed you.
It would have been the only girl that I've ever slept with.
I would have been like hell, you're gonna cancel these soccer games. I'm fucking going. You better fuck
going.
I'll sneak in. I'll sit in the freaking tunnel. I'll be on top of the stadium.
I told my brother, I'm like, they start letting fans into these basketball games. We're driving to Orlando.
Yo, good luck getting one of those tickets.
My dad was like, we should just start
my brother's media pass.
We should just start printing T-shirts and selling them outside of the bubble.
Oh man,
something.
Need to make some sports under the influence masks.
There's some sort of business opportunity that exists. Oh yeah, here, Mark. We need to show this to you here. All right,
here comes some. Are we getting some
graphic
new
design.
age graphic design on the show?
Oh, you better watch out, boy.
Who we blocking? We blocking all of us?
Don't you do it. Don't you do it.
I'm going to have to be in the corner, so I can just
Whoa. Ready? Let's share the entire screen and really trip your mind. Whoa.
Oh.
Look at that, Mark. Sports under the influence.
Oh, I like it.
With a little snazzy on the back, bro.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, baby.
Available wherever you get your podcasts.
Wherever you get them, bro. I don't care where you get them. That's where they're available.
I like it.
Let's do it.
All right, folks. Keep it real in the field.
Thanks for stopping by. Next week we'll have a podcast with you guys and we'll talk about the same fucking things, bro. Come back.
So much fucking fun.
Oh no, we might have a special segment. We might just do a draft.
Ooh. Stay tuned, boys.
We call that a tease in the industry.
That is a little dropping a little smidgen.
A little nip slip. That's a little nip slip right there.
I like it.
That's a Boston nip slip from 10 feet away.
No, that's a Boston.
You can't see it next week, so you got to come back and see it later.
That's a Boston Philly. I hate all of you. All 20 of you watch this. I hate you all.
Oh yeah.